He's getting older.
Hey, welcome to Con Air. Oh, hit the volume button.
But not wiser.
Pour some sugar on me.
This is The Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to The Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today, Monday, the 6th of October in the year of our spaghetti monster 2014. Welcome one, welcome all to The Lefty Show, episode number 98. Been 98 episodes of the show. That's it's pretty good. It's good. Got two more until episode 100. Anyway, welcome one, welcome all. Hope to put on a great show for you today. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. And thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show, helping the show grow by sharing it with friends, family, and coworkers. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts for your PC, tablet, or mobile device, Android, iOS. It does not matter. Search The Lefty Show wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to the feed and download all the episodes at your leisure. Thank you to everybody also that's been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. All right. Got some new content going live today, and kind of excited about it. It's something I've haven't done, and I think you guys will enjoy it. I think it's funny. And I hope you guys do as well. So keep your eyes peeled, youtube.com/LeftyOX, for a different kind of content coming your way today. There's a good chance that you'll like it. And I wanted to continue to talk a little bit about ISIS and bombing and the United States waging war, offensive war, projecting power, as they call it in the business, in the international relations, political science game. They call it projecting power. The United States has the ability to project power like no other military force on the planet. We can we're going to come get you. Oh, anywhere you are in the world, come get you. You're ISIS? Oh, we got you, baby. We don't care where you are. You'll be spread out all over Syria, Yemen, Iraq. We're going to come get you, big stroker. It's going to be a lot of fun to come get you. And the bombings of ISIS have continued talk of actually sending troops on the ground to quell the uprising in Iraq. And there was an interesting story I saw on Reddit that the guy who supposedly bankrolled 9/11, who supposedly provided material aid support, financial support for a few of the hijackers, the 9/11 hijackers, is now supposedly funding key ISIS members. He's now supposedly finding ways to get money and material to people in ISIS. And a lot of people are up in arms about it. A lot of people up in arms. Just incredibly, oh my goodness, they are incredibly upset by this. The fact that how can this guy still be around? How can this guy still be allowed to operate? Why haven't we gone to get him? Is the common question. And it's remarkable to me that so many people are so quick to want to wage war. Because that's what you do. When you go get ISIS, when you go get the guy who was bankrolling 9/11, who's now bankrolling, allegedly, who's now bankrolling ISIS, when you go get that guy, when you go get him, you're waging war. When you dispatch fighters to bomb people in Syria or Yemen because they beheaded a reporter or they provided support to those who did, when you do that, you are calling for war to be waged. And the funny part to me is that so many people are quick to acknowledge that war is heinous, that it's never good. It is universally bad. Even war against aggressors, even World War II, that war, the actual war waged, the goal, the objective, certainly noble. But the path to that objective, the path to that outcome is horrible. It's something you don't want to experience, and it's something that's bad for many people. And people are so quick to acknowledge it. They say, I know, war is horrible. War is always gross. There are always bad things that happen in war, because you say, well, okay, you're bombing ISIS targets. That's great, or ISIL, whatever you want to call them. They've got a worse branding issue than I do. But whatever you want to call them, you're going to, when you bomb them, you're going to get other people. You're going to get other people. There certainly already have. But because some guy who got captured a couple years ago, released, and then decided to go back, got captured again, and then beheaded. Oh, well, we don't want to ask. Wait, were there any civilian casualties? Who cares? They're ISIS. They're bad. They're awful. They're completely evil. Oh, my God, we got to stop them. And I don't disagree. Bad guys, sure. But you completely forget about that people will say, oh, well, war's awful. War's awful. You point to the civilian casualties in Iraq, Afghanistan. And people will acknowledge, yeah, it's awful. It happens. But at the same time, people are so quick to want to go to war. They say, I want to do this. We got to go get this guy. We got to go get ISIS. So you mean wage war? They say, yes. You say, you realize what's going to happen then. You realize the things that are going to happen because you want to now wage war. That's what's going to happen. And people are, oh, okay, that's all right, fine. What? And this is to say nothing of the fact that the bombings currently continuing against ISIS targets, and apparently there's another group that they're trying to get, which isn't being reported at all. There's another group with a completely different name, completely independent from ISIS, being targeted by the United States indiscriminately in Syria. They just, oh, yeah, Syria, we're going to bomb you. I mean, we're going to bomb the ISIS targets, but we're just sending our fighter planes over your sovereign airspace, and we're just going to bomb you. That's what's going to happen. God bless America. You need some freedom. All of it is completely unconstitutional, completely illegal. All of it. There has been no formal declaration of war, period, of any kind. Of any kind. Even at least in Iraq, at least in the war in Iraq, there was some kind of joint resolution of Congress. Congress, in some way, said, yes, we are making war. Now, you can get into Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, the enumerated powers, lists out succinctly what the American Congress, the combined House of Representatives and the Senate, are able to do. It combines the two of them. They say, here's what Congress can do. They can coin money. They can raise armies, and they can declare war, thus making war. They're responsible for this, interstate commerce, all these things. That's what they're supposed to do. Now, in the document, in the founding document, there's no set special way to declare a war. There's no abject or objective mechanism. There's no clear way, because passing an amendment, it's set. You got to, whatever the majority is, 2/3 majority of both houses of Congress have to vote in favor of this amendment to the Constitution. That's how you do it. It's one of the hardest things to do. But for a declaration of war, there's nothing. It just says Congress can declare war. And the Founding Fathers quoted outside saying, yes, the power to declare war, to wage aggressive war is exclusively reserved for Congress. It needs to be an act of the people's representatives, which makes sense. Which makes sense when you think about it. When you think about it just a little bit, it makes sense. Because what happens is the people, by way of their representatives, are speaking. There's a check on waging war, because even then people realize war is bad, especially offensive war. And we can't just go around getting embroiled in things without the people, by way of their representatives in Congress, saying, yes, let's go do this. That's what they've all said. They said, yeah, that's what we got to go do. Okay. That's been the mechanism. So now you can argue, and there's a very good discussion, a very nice debate to be had about what form declarations of war should take. Whether they be a joint resolution, whether the true intent be obfuscated by flowery language. The Iraq resolution, that was a declaration of war. That's what it was. But it was, it's a resolution. You can have that debate. And you can have a debate about what the Constitution would say about the actual mechanism by which Congress declares war. And that's a great discussion to be had. However, that does not change the fact that in order to wage aggressive war, in order for the United States military to go out and wage war, there needs to be a declaration of war by Congress. And that hasn't happened with ISIS at all. That hasn't happened with Afghanistan. That hasn't happened with the 9/11 bankroller, should that ever come to fruition. That has not happened. It's the president acting with plenipotentiary power that he does not have to wage war. You can't do that. And people are okay with it. And where is the outrage over that? Just, Constitution, it doesn't, these are just requests. Play a regular set. Do whatever we want. Those people in ISIS sure are bad. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Yeah, they're bad dudes. I get it. I don't deny it. I can't deny it. But what I also can't deny is the mechanisms, the rules, the process. Sound like Mark Trestman all of a sudden. The process, we're a process of football. Got to grow the man. What I can't deny is the process by which we manifest our outrage against people. And that is a formal declaration of war by the congressional branch of our government, by the legislative branch of our government, not the executive branch. The executive branch has no authority to wage war on its own. None. And there are plenty of quotes from the framers of the Constitution that say that. Not in the Constitution itself, but they said, yeah, what we are trying to say is that the people need to wage war by way of their representative government. Is what we have. The people need to wage war. And war is from a simple bombing run by a squadron of whatever, F-16s or F-4 Phantoms, or no, F-16s. Whether it be those guys or a full-scale assault or military advisors or troops or a battalion, it does not matter. Everywhere in the between, that is the United States declaring war, making war. And that lies at the foot of the legislative branch, which is representative of the people. It's supposed to be the will of the people that makes war, not the president of the United States. The will of the people declare war, and then the president, as commander-in-chief, decides within that framework how to accomplish the war's objective. But because ISIS is bad, the rules, process, screw that. Just go bomb people. And bombs continue to fall. And bad guys die, but some innocent people, supposedly innocent people, are going to die too. Maybe even some U.S. citizens who, yes, put themselves in that situation, who decided to fly overseas via Istanbul to fight for ISIS. Okay. You're completely denying them. You're accusing them of a crime, adjudicating their case, and then dispensing summary justice. You're saying the fighter pilot is both the judge, jury, and executioner. And you're completely denying these people. You're criminals worthy of this bomb. Don't you think Congress should have a little bit? It's just a little bit of something to say about that, and not this crap about within 90 days you got to let us know. The president doesn't have to officially report to Congress that they are waging war until 90 days after it's happened. 90 days. And that's what, 2 weeks ago? So we still have another, 10 weeks to go? Thereabouts? 10 weeks of bombings to go before Obama has to go to, or somebody representing the executive branch of government goes before the Congress and say, hey, by the way, this is what we're doing. And it's sickening because whenever something offends us, whenever there's powerful imagery, whatever it may be, the guy being beheaded, and the process just goes right out the window. And people seem okay with that. Perhaps not realizing, or more nefariously, even realizing, but being all right about it, that every time you allow your outrage, every time you allow your sensationalism to completely undo the process, to completely circumvent, short circuit the rules by which we govern ourselves, you make it easier and easier and easier to just abandon the rules altogether whenever it suits whomever is calling the shots. There was a process by which that 34-year-old teacher who was engaging in a sexual relationship with his 14-year-old student was accused, tried, convicted, and sentenced. And the process ran its course. And the process spat out 10 years probation. That was the process. But people didn't like that, did they? So, in response to the outrage at what they believe should have happened, the process was short-circuited. There was another sentencing hearing for some reason, and now the guy's going to do 10 years. Ferguson, Missouri, there is a process by which Officer Darren Wilson will be investigated, evidence presented to a grand jury, and they will decide whether to bring charges against him. And for better or worse, unless you can make a legitimate argument for a good old boys club of people that don't want to prosecute their own, like what really happened in Alabama in the 50s and 60s, in Mississippi and down there in the South. Unless you can argue for that, because that happened. There was, good old boys that have a few Steve Weisers together, and they want to go out and get them one of them boys. And they would go up and find one and run him up by his neck. And then the all-white grand jury would be impaneled, and the cracker-ass prosecutor would, and the grand jury would say, no charges. Unless you can argue that, there's a process by which Darren Wilson will be investigated, evidence presented, and the grand jury will decide whether to bring charges. And I know that when and if that grand jury returns with no charges against Officer Darren Wilson, that process is going to be short-circuited. Because then when you say, well, in the face of things that I don't like, the process be damned, well then why even have the process at all? Why even have the Constitution? Why even have Article 1? Why even have the enumerated powers? Well, just let them do whatever they want. If you're going to say, well, ISIS is bad, so they needed to be bombed, well, okay, then there's just hand over the keys to no checks, no more checks and balances, no more any of that crap, Because if it needs to be done, you're going to bootstrap your bootstrap logic. Well, it needs to be done, and if it didn't need to be done, they wouldn't have done it. So, okay, they're bad guys, go get them. Just hand them over. ISIS is bad, but they're not bad enough to warrant completely tearing up and trampling all over the document that we all kind of look around and agree is a pretty good idea. Either it's a good idea or it's a bad idea and completely needs to be redone. What matters is adhering to the rules. That's what matters. That's what society is. We adhere to the rules. We've got fudge factors here and there as best we can to try to make it as analog as possible. We try to make it as able to be receiving of all kinds of different scenarios, and to be able to be right in the sense that we define it. But keep in mind, in our way of governance, right doesn't necessarily mean, justice does not necessarily mean getting the call right or wrong in the meta sense. The system is not designed to get everything right. That's not the way the system is designed. The system is designed to get people protected. The system is designed to protect the people, and the system is designed to protect against people abusing power. And that means the system is not designed to go out and get every bad guy. The system is not designed to do that. Whether the bad guy in this sense be an alleged rapist or domestic abuser, or the bad guy be ISIS or ISIL or Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, North Korea. The system is not designed to go out and get every bad guy. That's not the way the system was designed. In fact, the system was designed to guard against what a previous regime, what a previous empire tried to just do. They tried to go out and get every bad guy and claim everything for their own. And the British Empire. So the sun never sets on the British Empire, used to go the saying. And the people that formed this country fought a war, a very bloody war, against those people. And they decided, holy crap, it should probably be pretty hard for the government to just send its troops out wherever it wants. It should probably be kind of hard to do that. We should make sure that the people want to do that. So, all right, here we go. But in today's self-important society, oh my God, ISIS is scary. Go get him. Just gotta go get him. Gotta go get him. What's this Constitution? Enumerated powers? Congress needs to declare war? Screw it. Go get him because I'm scared. And speaking of self-importance, I don't think it's a cultural thing, because I've talked about how Ebola has spread and sustained in Western Africa. And my original thought was that a lot of what played into the spread and sustainment of the Ebola virus in Western Africa are the cultures of Western Africa. Not very highly educated people, a lot of anachronistic culture, a lot of weird religions, or just religion in general. A lot of superstition, many of those things. And I call them backwards because they are backwards. Because come on, there's no rain god, sun god, none of that crap. Stop it. So to me, they're backwards. And I thought that that's what played into the sustainment of the Ebola virus there. But after Thomas Eric Duncan now upgraded to critical condition in a Dallas hospital, and I say good. Hope you, a tap dance the day you die, you bitch. You knew you were in the 2-week incubation period for Ebola, but you still got on a plane. And there's no doubt he downplayed his trek to Liberia when he first presented at a hospital. There's no doubt he was Liberia, but it was I was in another part of Liberia, the good part. If there is such a thing, I was in the good part of Liberia. No doubt that that's what he said. Otherwise, he would have said, "Hey, I was in Liberia fighting Ebola, trying to help contain Ebola, And about 72 hours ago, I was carrying to and from her house an Ebola-positive woman. So there you go, admitting doctor. There's no doubt in my mind he went in. I was in Liberia, but not that part of Liberia. Let's not talk about Liberia. Well, other things. How about those Mets? How about them Cowboys? How about them boys, huh, Romo? Yeah, I hate them too. Can't wait till that bastard dies. And I upgraded the status of his family because the status of his family members, his girlfriend with whom he was staying, and I believe her nephews. And I said I hope a couple of them get it. Just because, and my reasoning was just because they are like son of this or in some way related to a guy who would do this, who would be that dumb. They've been upgraded too. I hope they get it. I hope they get it too. Because they tried to leave their apartment. Thomas Eric Duncan came back from Liberia and stayed with these people in an apartment. His girlfriend, and I believe her two nephews, and I want to say some other guy. They were in an apartment together. And Duncan started presenting with symptoms. Went to the hospital, was given antibiotics, he came back. And outside that apartment is where he was seen vomiting and being taken into an ambulance to the trek back to the hospital. Like, no, I'm seriously messed up. That's when they found out he had Ebola. Those people were requested. Those people that lived with him were in close proximity and contact with an Ebola positive patient for many days while he was presenting with symptoms, which means it was communicable at that point. He was able to transmit the virus to you. Those people, it was requested, hey, we'll bring you food and stuff. Stay in your apartment. It's not an official order, but we are going to request that you stay in your apartment. They got up and went out in the middle of the night. They tried to go out. Oh, screw this. Never mind, I was in close proximity with an Ebola-positive patient during the time where they were able to transmit the virus to me. I'm just going to go out and walk around because, screw that. How dare they try to lock me up in my apartment? That's when a judge ordered them held under guard inside their apartment. They've now been moved to a donated residence, hopefully away from people where they can all get Ebola and die a horrible, painful death of the creeping crud. Because their self-importance was so high. What? Ebola? Communicable? No, screw that. I got stuff to do, damn it. I got to go outside from my apartment. And they were defiant about it, saying, I don't think it's right that we're supposed to be locked up. You might have Ebola, you morons. But, oh no, I need to go outside because I can't possibly have Ebola. I can't make that work in my head. I can't admit it to myself that I have Ebola. I can't do it. It doesn't, no. I don't want to talk about it. No. That's him. That's Duncan. That's not me. That's Thomas Duncan. That's not me. He has Ebola. I don't. I need to go. It's not a backwards society. It's not a backwards culture thing, is my point. I don't think I was wrong in placing so much of the spread of Ebola and the staying power, if you'll let me use that term, the staying power of Ebola. I was wrong to put that on so much of that on West African culture. I'm sure there is a bit because they did kiss the dead bodies, and that's a culture thing, and that's dumb. But I think what it is more, where people that try to leave quarantine zones don't and are being resistant to quarantine efforts, resistant to aid workers, resistant to doctors trying to help them. I think what it is people are just too self-important. Humans are dumb. People, as a large group, by and large, are pretty dumb. We're just, oh my God. The same people who have the logical disconnect whenever something threatens them, logic, reason, rationality, the need to adhere to process, the thought that something like the Constitution or rule of law or our representative government is more important than their immediate fears, that all goes out the window. Oh my God, ISIS is scary. Go get them. I don't care. Screw it. Whatever you got to do. Here are the keys. Go fire up the jets. Go get them. Those same people are the people who, when told that, hey, you've been living with a guy who's Ebola positive and you've been in close proximity and close contact with him, we're going to very politely request that you stay inside your apartment and do not leave, because it's possible that you have this super deadly virus in you and you may some way communicate it to somebody else. You may give it to them. And those people couldn't believe it. No. My life is way more important than not possibly transmitting this super deadly disease to somebody else. My life is way too important for that. Screw that. Screw it. I got to go get some milk or something. I got to leave. I can't be cooped up in this apartment. I think it's just humans are dumb. We are just dumb and entirely self-absorbed. Now, I can't really blame you. This is not to say, oh my God, how can we be so self-absorbed? You can't really blame people for being self-absorbed, I don't think. We think, therefore we are. We look ourselves in the mirror and we have each and every person has their own very unique perspective on things, which comes from an amalgamation of everything, from your past experience to who you are, to what you think, to how the neuron paths fire in your brain. Everybody has a unique experience on things. Everybody has a unique consciousness. And it's very, very, very hard to put other things, to put abstract notions like the safety and well-being of others, which is abstract, the rule of law, abstract, the Constitution, and the enumerated powers, entirely abstract. Your consciousness is the only thing that's real to you. That's the only thing. And I don't think I can really blame people for wanting to put that ahead of other things. Even the Ebola virus. This might kill you. Yeah, but no, I can't believe it. Don't want to believe it. It's hard to blame them, but I can still blame them. And I can still hope that they get it and all die of the creeping crud. There you go. Have fun. Maybe other people then will learn. Maybe other people will go, in certain times like this, maybe I should be a little bit more circumspect about what I do and the choices I make. Maybe, yeah, I understand that I want to put myself first, that I want to put my consciousness first, and I can't possibly believe that I have Ebola and can transmit it to other people. So no, screw that. Those people were wrong. Maybe I should just calm down. Wait a second. Wait a little bit. And see if that's actually the case. Thomas Eric Duncan and his family. Bunch of Ebola positive bastards. Let's do some news. All right, we got a lot of things to talk about today. A man has pooped on a council floor in protest at dwarf discrimination. This is from Metro.uk. A man has said he had a poo in a council office because he was being discriminated against for being a dwarf. Ian Salter Bromley, 54, made the dirty protest in the reception and toilets in council building in Hull. He told the staff they were useless. I don't know. I'm trying to see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars. All right, so useless F-bombs before pulling down his pants and pooing twice. He was warned that he faces jail as a result of spreading poo and urine throughout the Wilson Center. Salter Bromley also told an Asian man, quote, "You should go back to your own country," and pulled his arm back as though he was going to punch a receptionist, according to the Hull Daily Mail. He said that not enough had been done to accommodate his needs at his council flat, and items in his kitchen were 8 inches too high for him to reach. You know, listen, dwarves and midgets out there. And this goes for anybody, really. This goes for anybody, okay? You need to stop letting the crazy people speak for you. You need to stop putting the crazy guy at the head of your organization that wants to talk about this or that. Okay? Because this man is a crazy guy. All right? You don't just poo, you don't just drop trow and drop two turds twice, which I want to know, was the first one not good enough? Did that like not get his point across? Were he like, oh, you guys are a bunch of a-holes, and so, and then did he not perceive that they were getting it at that point? Did he look at them? Did he survey the room and everybody was just kind of aghast and he didn't think that they understood why he did it, so he had to do it again to communicate his point? Is that what happened? Because, you know, if somebody gets so pissed off with what I've apparently done to them, or what I am rather allowing to happen to them, if somebody gets that pissed off that they poo twice, not even twice, the first time the guy gets so angry, I imagine him standing before the council and he gets so angry and he gets so heated up and he's so just in the moment that he unbuckles his pants. Now, the guy, this man is a man who probably does not have time for buckles. So this is probably just a straight sweatpant job. That he drops his pants and takes a dump. If somebody gets that upset with me, I'm listening to what they have to say. I'm not going to be like, I'm not sure of what you're trying to do, so I'm going to withhold my response until you prove that poop was like in retaliation for something that I've done. You've got to poop again to prove it to me that first poop was real. Why twice? Maybe he just had to go. He's like, well, I did the first one, and I don't think I got all of it. And, if you're going to go all the way, if you're going to go to that level, you might as well just empty your bowels. Might as well get something out of it. He was given a 21-day suspended prison sentence, which, imagine, I'm guessing this was somewhere in the UK or perhaps in Ireland. But I want to know, what would happen if I go to a council meeting somewhere in America and I get so pissed off, I get so heated that I take a dump on the floor? This man was given a 21-day suspended prison sentence, which is just like, you're supposed to be in jail. I read that as, you're supposed to be in jail, but we don't want to put you in jail because you're a psychopath. So here you go. And also because all you did was really poop on something. Which we all poop. Everybody poops. What a weird thing, too. We have a special room where we go in to poop. You ever think about that? That we all do this thing. There's this thing we do that we all do. All of us do. That we never talk about. It's not polite to talk about in society, which I understand. Poop is gross. It smells funny. Not even funny. Bad. It smells bad. But it's this thing we all do, and it's pretty important. It's pretty important to our continued survival and our continued health. You can tell something about yourself with how you poop. Whether you have incredibly frequent BMs, or they're of a certain consistency, or of a certain color, you can tell something about your GI system or about maybe even your overall health. But we don't talk about it. And it's to the point, it's so to the point that we don't talk about it, that we have a special room, incredibly private, where you go to do your business and you don't talk about, and it's even talking, think about that reference, do your business. You got to do your business. We know what we're talking about when we say do your business, go take a crap. But we don't talk about it. And you go into that room and you close the door and you get the special paper to wipe your butt so you don't leave streaks on your underpants. And then you come out and you do not talk about it. You don't talk about it. You don't talk about it with anybody. You're just, and people will halt conversations. You'll be in the middle of a conversation with somebody. You'll be talking about this or that, whatever. Did you watch the latest sports game? Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, that guy sucks. Yeah, he's pretty bad. Are you looking forward to something that isn't that? Yeah, of course. Hold on a second, Jeff. Hold on. I got to go do that thing we all do. Right? I got to go to the bathroom. Right? I got to go do that thing we all do. but you don't want to hear about it. I am about to go, just in terms of actual distance, I'm going to be about 5 or 15 feet away from you. But I'm going to be in a special closed off area with my pants down, sitting on a special chair, excreting things from my butt. And then I'm going to come back after our complicated plumbing system takes it away from us. And then I'm going to come back and sit down and talk to you as though nothing happened. And we all treat that as just normal. I don't know. It's something weird to me. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yes, pooping and pooping on accounts. You do that in America, you're probably guilty of assault. You probably assaulted somebody. That man assaulted me by pooping on the floor. This guy, wherever he is, poops on during a council meeting, poops on the floor, not his own floor. He just, I'm so angry. Twice. Oh, you didn't get it the first. 21-day suspended prison sentence. That would not happen. That would not happen in America. And you know what, frankly? I want to live in a world where you can poop in public and not go to prison for it. Right? We should all get one instance, not one poop, because this guy obviously violated that rule. But I want to live in a world where if you get one time where you can just get so pissed off that to prove your point, you have to poop on the floor. To prove your point in anything, a dispute at the hotel over a bill, at a restaurant over slow service. All over there, you're talking about health concerns there, so maybe not in a restaurant. Maybe we should limit it. Because there are practical health concerns when talking about poop in a restaurant. But, poop in a council meeting, everybody just stays away from the poop. That's all. Like people are making food around it. Where else do you get in school in a debate class? Right, you're debating somebody and you're just getting hammered and they don't understand. They don't understand what you're talking about. And so you just, do your thing, man. I'm so angry with you right now. Or you're disputing with a teacher over a grade after hours, office hours maybe. Or you're like, no, I'm sorry, the curve, because, the curve is set the way it is. Your 98% is now an 83. It's like, that's such crap. I'm so angry with you right now. You got to do that too. And there should be no jail time for that. None. Come on. It's just poop. You just pooped. All right. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to clean it up. $50 fine. $100 maybe. No, certainly no jail time. But in America, you poop on something that isn't supposed to be pooped on. In America, you're going to jail for a long time. They're going to go, oh, you're a crazy person. Minimum sentence 1 year. Can't have that. Can't have people walking around pooping on things because they're incredibly angry. And here's the thing. Back to the crazy people representing you. You can't have crazy people representing you. Because this crazy midget, crazy dwarf, whatever they want to be called, is a crazy person. Just crazy. And he raging against the machine because, oh my God, everything's too tall for me. Well, what do you want, man? You mean this apartment that was built decades ago wasn't accessible? Oh, damn it, we got to fire the architect who didn't foresee somebody of this height trying to live in an apartment. Think about making everything accessible to everybody else. Think about the practicality of that. And here's how you think about the practicality, especially talking about dwarfism and midgets and short people and all that stuff, okay? Here's how you visualize it and live it. Here's how you experience actual accessibility. If we were to make the world actually accessible to every person who could possibly exist, go try to poop at an elementary school. In the toilet. In the toilet, not like just anywhere. Go to an elementary school, gain access, off hours, of course. Don't just show up there like I'm here to poop and use your bathroom. But if you can get access to an elementary school or a place where children frequent, daycare center maybe, they might have a little bit better access at a daycare center as opposed to a school in today's society. Oh, I'm here to poop in the bathroom. Oh my God, some guy says he wants to use the bathroom for science. Lockdown. Oh my God, we can't. We got to email the parents that there was a lockdown at the school. But gain access to either an elementary school or a daycare center and go try to poop in that bathroom. Go try to poop in that bathroom. All right, now maybe I'm the outlier being 6'4", 6'5" in shoes. Maybe I'm the outlier because or better yet, in airport. Better yet, airports. Airport bathrooms, at least O'Hare International, has the lowest toilets I've ever seen in my life. And I go there, whether to take somebody or drop them off, or, well, sit them or bench them too. Whether to pick somebody up or take them to a flight. And sometimes I got to go. And I go in there, and I go sit down, and the toilets are so low that my ass is below my knees. Now, I know that's supposed to be, oh my God, it lines up the perfectly. But listen, I want to feel like I'm sitting, not squatting. Okay? I want to feel like I'm sitting on a throne, not squatting over a receptacle, because when you sit on a toilet, it suspends your disbelief a little bit about what you're actually doing. You're just like, oh, I'm sitting. I'm having a sit, getting out my phone, comic book, a book or something. All right. But when you're squatting, when you have to squat down so low to get on a toilet, it's hard to pretend that you're doing anything other than just squatting over a porcelain receptacle for the nasty stuff that comes out of your butt. That's the only, I got to pretend. What am I doing? I'm a catcher. Game 6 of the NLCS. All right, here we go. You can't do that. Damn it. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me to be sitting with my knees above my ass. That's what society would be like if everything was truly accessible. Because everybody can access the low toilet. Not everybody can access the throne-like toilet. But you call for, everything's got to be accessible. Well, yeah, it's accessible to you, but now it's incredibly inconvenient for people, especially because I'm not imagine you Penn Jillette, he's 6'8" tall. A big dude, too. You got offensive linemen in the NFL, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". NBA players. Oh my God, man. Imagine then trying to use an actual accessible toilet. So now you're accessible. And again, it gets back to how self-absorbed we are. Everything needs to be accessible for me. Well, hold on. Think about the other guy. What about the other guy? What about Joakim Noah, 7-footer? What about him now he's going to O'Hare, I got to take a dump. Now O'Hare has their specially accessible toilets, which are specially designed to be low enough to the ground to be accessible to everybody. And now what's that like for old Joakim? What's that like? What about him? Doesn't he have kind of a right to be comfortable in taking a poop? But everything's got to be accessible. Everything's got to be accessible. Then damn this architect and damn this contractor for not building this apartment accessible to me 10 years ago when it was built. Come off it, self-absorbed clown, crazy person. Go to the contractor's office and take a crap in their office. Why are you so mad at the council? What are they supposed to do? Go to the contractor and be like, hey, angry with you. And in other news, talking in general about ISIS and the fear about ISIS, this is a story from CNN. A teen from the Chicago suburbs was arrested at O'Hare International Airport over the weekend and accused of attempting to provide aid to ISIS. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois announced Monday Mohammed Hamza Khan, 19, is charged with one count of attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization. According to a criminal complaint, a round-trip ticket was purchased for Khan from Chicago to Istanbul. In an interview with FBI agents and a letter to his parents, Khan indicated that he did not plan to return and was on his way to join ISIS. Once he crossed security at the airport Saturday, federal agents stopped him and executed a search warrant at his home, where documents expressing support for ISIS and jihadists were recovered, the U.S. Attorney's Office said. The teen was taken into custody without incident. The charge he faces carries a maximum penalty of 15 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Details about who purchased the airplane ticket for Khan and whom he was planning to meet in Turkey were not included in the criminal complaint. but the court documents state that the FBI withheld many details for now, including in the document only enough to persuade a judge to criminally charge Khan. The search at Khan's Bolingbrook, Illinois home, where he lives with his parents, turned up documents allegedly written by Khan that stated his intentions. In his bedroom, he left a 3-page handwritten letter telling his parents that his destination was Syria and warning them not to tell authorities about his trip because it could put his safety in jeopardy, according to the criminal complaint. Now, all these things, and it goes on. And the guy, after being arrested, waived his Miranda rights and told the FBI that, yeah, that's what I was doing. A lot of people are going to herald this and say, oh, yeah, good job. Stopped another potential bad guy. But here's the thing. And here's my problem with it. Of course, I have a problem with it. A judge brought a criminal complaint against a U.S. citizen. I believe he's a U.S. citizen, right? He's from living in middle America in Chicago. 19-year-old kid, got to be a citizen, right? He's not a transplant. He's not emigrating back to wherever he came from. A U.S. citizen was charged with attempting to aid a foreign terrorist group based on little more than the fact that he bought a ticket to Istanbul. Because the charging instrument says that the FBI withheld evidence, withheld many other supposed pieces of evidence. The only thing they had was that there was a ticket in this kid's name to Istanbul. And that's enough to charge an American citizen with a very, very serious felony? That's enough now? Never mind the kid admitted to it. And never mind that there's damning evidence found at his home in the form of a handwritten letter saying, yes, this is what I'm going to go do. I'm going to fight for ISIS. And he talks about the ills of Western culture and how he doesn't want to raise a family or be in that culture anymore. Never mind all that. We're talking about a judge in our justice system and federal prosecutors presenting evidence to a judge trying to get an arrest warrant. And apparently, the piece de resistance of evidence was the mere fact of this kid traveling to Istanbul, bought by somebody else. And that's not even part of the criminal complaint. None of it is. It's just this kid is, we want to charge this kid with attempting to aid ISIS because he wants to go to Syria, we believe. Okay, well, what's your evidence? Well, he has a ticket to Istanbul. Okay, bam, 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 arrest. People should be really scared because apparently, so I'm told, Istanbul is a nice place to go. You got the Grand Bazaar, you can go there, hang out, buy some fake Rolex watches and stuff. Bunch of cool stuff. You need a nice Oriental rug or Persian rug. Go to Istanbul. Get yourself some of that. There's cruises that go to Istanbul. Oddly enough. Now, if you happen to be named, I don't know, Mohammed Hamza Khan, which just off the top of your heads, what do you think he looks like? Exactly. Right? Brown people. This is just, if you're brown, we're going to watch you. And if you're brown and you buy a ticket to Istanbul, if you have Muhammad anywhere in your name and you buy a ticket to Istanbul, that is now enough to bring charges against you for attempting to aid a terrorist group. And we got one of the bad guys. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, Jesus. I feel good. I feel very good. People should be scared, should be outraged at how crazy it has gotten, how easy it has become to accuse people of being terrorists or of aiding terrorist organizations. Now, I didn't live through the Red Scare. I wasn't alive to see McCarthy going around trying to just grab people and, you're, of course, to further his own political ends. But under the guise of patriotism. Oh, you're a commie. You're a commie. Oh, my God, you're a commie. Oh, commies, all of them. Go get them. Arrest them. Prove you're not a commie. Prove you're not a I wasn't around. But I'm guessing it was kind of like this. You're a brown guy. You've got Muhammad in your name somewhere, or something that even sounds vaguely Middle Eastern. You buy a ticket to Istanbul, and the cops are watching you. No, there's no doubt that the feds were watching him. Probably all kinds of FISA court. It's FISA court, right? Not FICA. FICA is something different. All kinds of FISA court secret warrants. We've got we've got secret evidence presented to our secret court, which gave us a secret document that allows us to arrest you. And you can't see it. Oh, no. You can't see it. Not even the judge, the actual judge, the federal judge. He can't see it either. Oh, no. We got all this secret stuff. But suffice it to say, this kid's got a ticket to Istanbul. Oh, bam. Prove you're not a terrorist. Prove you're not a wannabe terrorist. It probably sounded a lot like this. And you know what? We don't look back fondly on that era of American politics. We don't look back fondly on the McCarthy era and go, oh, yeah, or on McCarthyism. We don't look back and go, it's good. We look bad on that. We look back and go, and collectively say, oh, man, look at how political fervor was used as a tool to beat people and to contain them and to get them arrested and to get them charged with very serious crimes. Ne'er-do-wells possibly. But otherwise, people who hadn't really committed a crime, charged with a very serious crime, and now their life is irrevocably altered. And what I really hope, and how people can possibly be okay with this. Because here's the thing that I don't get. People seem to be very hands off with regards to, like, oh, well, the government's doing it. You're the government. It's yours. Take it back. I'm not talking about voting. This isn't a voting talk. This is about the government is you. They represent you. And there are mechanisms by which, whether you don't like your congressman, whether you don't like the president, I don't think there's not much you can do about Supreme Court justices, but there's a reason for that. You don't like these people. You don't like appointees. There are mechanisms by which you, the people, not you individually, but you, the people, can collectively rise up and do something about it. And there's impeachment processes for everything. Oh, well, the government's doing it. No, they're representing you. But how people can be okay with sting operations, because I really hope that this kid, and he admitted to the FBI that he was talking to somebody online, a contact online who said he was given a cell phone number. He said, when you land in Istanbul, talk to this guy, we'll get you to Syria or to wherever you need to go for ISIS. I hope that we don't learn later that, well, he was talking to an undercover FBI agent. He was never really in a position to aid ISIS, but we had just created this facade that he was communicating with. And he then said, oh, yeah, I really hate the West. You really, really hate him? Yeah. I wish I could do something. You know, there's ISIS. Yeah, dude, I'd totally do that. Bam, we got him. Now, don't worry, nobody was ever really in danger. This happened a lot. It continues to happen with, again, brown people in mosques all throughout the United States. FBI agents go in there, start talking radical things. You get a young, impressionable teenager, one who wants to prove himself to himself, trying to find himself, and you get them all riled up with radical Islamic. Oh yeah. You should build a bomb. A bomb would work. Oh yeah, I'd totally build a bomb. I know a guy. All right, cool. Let's talk to him. And then, bam, attempting to create a bomb. Attempting to accrue bomb-making materials for a terrorist act. Bam, we got you. These people otherwise would not have committed these crimes. The FBI goes up to him and says, hey, you want to do all this stuff? And they go, yeah. Oh, it's a crime. Oh, we get him. Ha ha. Look at us getting him. We got him. I really hope we don't find out that this kid was just talking to some FBI agent in Virginia, purporting himself to be an ISIS representative, because we are allowing law enforcement to entrap us. And then that same law enforcement sells that entrapment to us as evidence of doing good work. Look at us getting him. Look, we got him. Look at us doing the Lord's work here. We brought him in. We put him down. Look at that. And again, because people are so self-absorbed in the threat of ISIS. Oh, well, the threat of ISIS. I mean, I know that it's kind of weird that, this kid was only talking to maybe even the FBI initiated the conversation with him. And I know that that's kind of weird, and that there's a little part of my brain that goes, that's weird, but ISIS is scary. So, it's good. Oh, it's good that we got him. Oh, finally we got him. Oh, thank God. Thank God that we got him. Thank God for the FBI. Let's bring it home. Another great episode of The Lefty Show. I thank you all for joining. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation, as well as gaming and vlogging content. That's YouTube.com/LeftyOX. Thank you to everybody that's been following me on Twitter. @Lefty643 is where you can do that, as well as everybody for donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Thank you to everybody for doing that. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show with friends, family, and coworkers. It's the best way to help the show grow. Really, everybody's been helping out. It's been great. Head on over to leftyshow.podbean.com or wherever you get your podcast for your PC, tablet, or mobile device. Android, iOS, it doesn't matter. Search The Lefty Show and be sure to subscribe there. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye.
King of the world, baby, king of the world.